Yo, Geppy J here, and today we're at this place, Maidenhead Aquatic Centre. So let's go and have a look, see what they got. We're inside the Aquatic Centre. Now I've got fish, as you probably well know. So, and I do have a tank. I used to have two, even three at one point, different tanks. I had cold water, I've had fresh water, I've had tropicals. So I've always had fish since I've been young. Problem is with cold fish, sometimes they do outgrow the tanks and stuff, but that's not too bad because Tracy's brother's got a biggish pond in the garden and that's where they normally end up going once they get too big for the tank. You've got a couple of carp down there that I gave him a few years ago. One's probably about 18 inches long, 20 inches long. Yeah. So that's a good size, that is. Let's have a look at the stuff they sell. So they've got all your pond liners and stuff, so if you want to build you a pond in the garden. And all the ornaments for your tanks. Quite okay, that's a bright one. Wow. Yeah. Well, they've got all the stuff you need. Under counter, if you've got fish, obviously like the cories and stuff there, look. Yeah. You can sit the one part under the gravel and make a cave for them. Same with that there for shrimps and stuff. Because again, they like to get themselves out of sight. Got some cars and a tank. Bit of Star Wars in the tank if you want it. And over this side there's all the equipment you need. Boosters, biofilter boosters. There's all the algae cleaners and stuff you need to treat your fish and test your tanks. And a massive array of foods, pumps and accessories. I do have some of these somewhere about, some of these water clear. I've yet to finish using them. But yeah, they've got tanks. I'll have a check what the price of media is like at the minute. All I'm in here. That's the system I'm currently running in my tank. I run two of those. It is a big tank, it's a 300 litre tank really. And it does say it does 240 litres. So I'm running two at the minute in my one tank. Yeah, so this is some of the media you use. That's the one set of media, and then you have to buy these ones here. Yeah, and these are the ones, these have got the clear water, they've got the bio stuff on the back and carbon active filter backs in them. And then there's your pre-filter stuff. Yeah, this stuff, and these, Biomax, which that goes inside the body. The body of the main part here that fits in, that goes in the middle here. So it sucks in and then pushes out through there, and that helps clean and maximise the biological from the water, keeps the fish all fresh. So they're all that. Very good filters. I'd recommend Fluval filter to anybody, I really would. And if you're doing smaller tanks, and again, because I've used these myself in the past, there's these tanks here, these Aqua internal 50 litre and 100 litre. For small tanks, little 20 litre, 30 litre tanks with a few little things like some neon tetras or something like that. Or even a breeding tank, if you're into breeding some fish. These are brilliant. You can get them as your filter like that. I'm not sure what his price is, £17.50 for the pump and the filter. And then for £6.50 you can get a set of replacement cartridges. So you've not even got to bother trying to clean them out or buy filter product for it. You just buy the replacements when it needs changing. 3 in the box there, 1 on the thing. So for 23 quid the first time you got 4 fills, 4 treatments, and then after that you've got them. If you want to step up a bit better, I've also used these. This is the clear water ones, and they've got a little plastic tub that sits in the top about that sort of deep, and then you put your active carbon in there, and that helps clarify the water. But yeah, I'd recommend either of those. I've used them both, never had no trouble with them. Let's have a look at the tanks. Some big tanks in here, big tanks. Yeah. These are nice ones. I like these in the wooden surrounds with all the oak finish, stuff like that. Beautiful, really nice. And obviously with something like that, look, you can set it up. You've got wine racks, you've got drawers, you've got stuff to keep all your things for your tanking. Absolutely brilliant. There we go, have a look. Well then let's go and have a look at some fish. Tiger barbs and stuff, great little fish, but be careful what you put them in with, because they do get a bit nippy at other little fish. We used to keep barbs at one time for quite a while, and then we changed over to a few other ones, like the ramis and stuff. And then there's the other fishes that we used to have lots of, platies. Now if you want to get into breeding fish, nothing breeds quicker than a platy, trust me. If you've got a couple of females, 3 or 4 females in the tank of 8 or 9 fish, you're going to be pumping babies out left, right and centre. And remember, these, unlike most fish, platies, they bear live young. So there's no eggs or nothing with these. You can actually sit there and watch them popping the young out one after another. It's like pouring water on sand with them, the way they come out. They just sit there and they just pop out. But it's a great thing to sit and watch. Obviously great to get the kids involved, get the kids watching and let them see how nature works. Absolutely brilliant. We've got guppies, again, these are live bear. Oh, these are nice ones. Look, so these ones with the shimmery tails. That's a great effect, isn't it? Look at that. Really lovely shimmer effect with that LED lighting. That's lovely. And mollies and all, we had those. We had mollies, as well as them. Saltins. So yeah, I mean along this line here we've more or less had every fish along this line at some point. Well, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the shop and have a look on the other side. See what we've got in here, some more tetras. Sharks. There's the little shrimpies in there. Little tiny shrimps. See if I can zoom in a bit on them for you. There we go. And they're tiny, a little tiny shrimp. Look. Lovely, aren't they? And some really tiny fish in there as well. There's some more shrimps there, look. All different coloured ones. And some some funny yellowy coloured ones there. They're quite strange. Let's we go along then. See what we've got across here. Sharks, red sharks. We had some of those ruby sharks. They were nice for us. They grow quite big. Looking where else they go. Queen loach. I did have some loach like those. Mine weren't the queen loach. What ones were mine? Can't remember the ones I had, but they're very similar. More like a tiger, more tigery than that. But they were good. I mean, price is not too bad. sort of average sort of price anywhere these days, if I'm honest. I mean, you've got tropical there. I mean, then you've got your little style of fish here, the silver dollars and your cichlids and stuff. These are marine ones. These fish, unlike a lot of other fish, these fish do require a lot of maintenance and looking after. You need things obviously like bogwood, you need the right filtration system, you know, you need the right sort of water, you need the right sort of temperatures, there's so much you need to do. But if you can keep a good marine aquarium, then it's a sight to behold, it's a gorgeous thing to look at. And lots of cichlids and stuff, different varieties. What we've got over here. I mean, if your kids want a tank and they come asking him, Mum, Dad, can I have a tank? Best thing for you to get them, buy them a little tank and get them some of these, some little neon tetras. They're great little fish, so easy to keep. You know what I mean? £3.50 each, 6 for 18 quid. Get a tank, get 36 quid worth of them, chuck them in a little 20 litre tank, and away you go. You know what I mean? They're brilliant. I mean, they've got the ruby ones, the same fish, but in a ruby one. Then they've got an albino version. Yeah. The other thing is, remember, if you do have a tank and you want it to stay clean, the quickest way for stay clean is with some of these here. Little sucking loaches. Brilliant. They're like a hoover in the water. They hoover up everything. And down here, look, we've got some different ones. Again, they've got little cool. They'll suckle up and eat all the rubbish. Anything like that, any type of sucking fish, like that, little catfish, anything like that, they will eat all the stuff. I remember when my tank got really full of a green line scale up the front of it, I went out, I bought me a couple of sucking loaches, I put it in within 2 days, the lot, the lot. Oh, some more here, eh? Cherry barbs. Minnows and stuff. Daniels, these ones here. Great little fish thingy. You've got to watch them when you're feeding them. You've got the top one, they like to jump. They do like to jump, and they will jump. They're big enough, they will jump out the tank while you've got the lid off. So be careful. I'll be down in some bigger fish, more cold water style now. Anchovies, orangeos and stuff, pumpkins and that sort of stuff. A mixture of platters in there. And cories, this is what I've got to admit. I've got some cories in my tank over at the minute with some carp. Yeah. How lovely. And then obviously then you've got plants, live plants, if you want to go that way, rather than putting in filtration and stuff. You've got the live oxygenating plants and live plants in. Moss balls, ideal. Great little thing for the fish. They will feed off you. But yeah, that's a walk around inside Maidenhead Aquatics. So it's time for me to make out. That's let me just that's better. Let me just zoom back out. So that's it. Maidenhead Aquatics here at Shipley at the Bridge North Garden Centre. I've been Gaffy J. You know where to come for your fish. See ya.